In this video, we will talk about edition. What is an edition? Let's begin with the detective. A philologist, after all, is a bit of a detective. In Studying Scarlet, the British writer Arthur Conan Doyle introduces Sherlock Holmes, a fictional detective famous for his logical thinking and meticulous attention to detail.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. It is my business to know what other people don't know.
Holmes solves crimes by noticing what others overlook and connecting hidden clues. He represents the power of reason. He avoids rushing to conclusions. He carefully gathers evidence, analyzes contradictions, and reasons backwards to understand what happened.
Having gathered these facts, Watson, I smoked several pipes over them, trying to separate those which were crucial from others which were merely incidental.
This way of thinking is very similar to the method used in philology. Like detectives, philologists work with incomplete and sometimes corrupted material.
Data, 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 he cried impatiently. I can't make bricks without clay.
Philologists collect data, compare different versions of a text, study the differences, and try to reconstruct its history. From what remains, they attempt to infer what is missing.
How often have I said to you that when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth?
Likewise, the goal of philologists is not absolute certainty, but the most reasonable and coherent reconstruction. Consequently, every investigation begins with data collection. Without sufficient evidence, people tend to twist facts to fit their own preconceptions. This is why Holmes gathers all available information before making any judgment.
The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes.
Philologists do the same. They start with a process called recensio, in which they collect as many versions of the text as possible before deciding how to reconstruct it. Every detail matters. For Holmes, stains, footprints, and gestures are valuable clues. Likewise, for the philologist, variation in the text, missing lines or marginal notes, can be just as revealing. Each variation, even if apparently insignificant, can help tell the story of how a text was transmitted or altered over time.
You see, but you do not observe. The distinction is clear.
Both Holmes and philologists need to use their judgment and test various hypotheses. They follow established methods, but they also rely on their knowledge, experience, and critical thinking. In fact, philologists decide which reading to adopt by analyzing patterns of errors and the transmission history of the text. This act of selection, known in philology as judicium, is always an act of interpretation. Finally, both detectives and philologists must communicate their work. Holmes explains the crime so that others can understand it. Similarly, the philologist produces an edition, a clear, readable version of the text that reflects all the work of reconstruction and decision-making. In both cases, they help others make sense of something that was previously fragmented, obscure, or hidden. The connection between the philologist and the detective is not just about method, but about a way of thinking, a way that is analytical, detail-oriented, open to uncertainty, and focused on building meaning. In the third week of this MOOC, we will take a closer look at this approach by exploring the concept of edition. As we have often done throughout this course, we begin by looking at the word's etymology. Edition comes from the Latin editio, meaning to publish or to bring out. In philology, an edition is the output of the act of scholarly editing, the final form of a critical text prepared for readers. It reflects the outcome of critical decisions and makes the process of reconstruction visible and comprehensible.